Welcome to the new series. This is Shanu here, and this series goes like the breakup phase in the present scenario, in the present world today. Many of you might agree to me that the pandemic has caused about a lot of differences in relationships. Even distance has brought about certain differences in relationships. Some of you are together, some of you have split apart, some of you have taken the other direction. And this is a time when it is important to understand that I need to be careful about making the mistakes in my life which don't help me to become a better person, don't help me to attract the better person in my life from now on. Or even if I want to get back to the person whom I've broken up with, what are the choices and the chances that I have with me? So these 10 mistakes, I hope you've not made them, but if you've made them, it's time to rectify them, change them. In this episode, we're going to talk about the 10 mistakes to avoid. And in the next couple of episodes, we're going to talk about what to do even if you made these mistakes. I'm going to cover certain mistakes which we have made, and I'm also going to talk about the things which can be changed, which can be rectified over here. But then let's see. Let's ponder over these mistakes. Well, every mistake is a stepping stone towards something better, right? We learn from our mistakes. So let's go ahead and see. The first one over here, after a breakup, or the reason for a breakup, could be the blame game. You see, either we have been blaming the other person all throughout in a relationship, and we are still blaming that person even after getting out of a relationship. The blame game is completely ineffective. It's not at all powerful. There's no victory in it. There's no self-introspection in it. There's no growth in it. It doesn't give you a strong foundation. It's all about spreading negativity. Whenever I'm blaming anybody in my life, I'm not pointing fingers towards them. I'm telling the world, I'm telling myself that I really don't have the strength to take responsibility in my life for things which are happening in my life. Whether that person stays with me or doesn't stay with me, I have got certain weaknesses in me. And the first weakness, if I am blaming somebody for the relationship, I could use the same tactics or the same negativity or the same kind of behavior when it comes to any kind of failure, whether it be financial, whether it be my own physical health or anything else. Well, blame game is not sending you out the right vibrations for getting that person back in your life for sure. A blame game is also making you much more weak and powerless. Blaming somebody, or blaming life, or blaming people around you is the first mistake which one should avoid, because it's a drain. It drains you out. It doesn't let you see the solution. It makes you only see the reasons why. And when we are focused on only seeing the reasons why it was not successful because of the other person, what we're going to attract in the next person then? We're going to attract a person of low energy, because I am creating a low energy. I'm becoming a being of low energy. Negativity means low energy. Blaming also means low energy, no matter who was responsible. So here, let me say, let me think, let me take the whole responsibility onto myself. Let me become somebody better. Let me think that if I take the whole responsibility onto myself, that it is because of me certain things happen and this relationship did not work out, then what all can I change? What can I make better? How do I change my life? What steps should I take right now to become a better person, to grow in my life, be it mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, in every aspect of my life? Can I become holistic by blaming? Question number 1, can I? Or can I stop complaining? Can I stop blaming? Can I stop pointing fingers at others and point fingers at myself? Right now, at this moment, what do I need to change? What do I need to become? So, this is the first thing. let's stop blaming. It's not going to help you out. It's not going to help the other person out. It's only going to give out vibrations of repulsion if you're thinking about getting that person back in your life. Or even if you're going to think about getting another person in life, and if you're going to blame and think about blaming all the time, what are you going to talk to the other person who's going to come in your life? A new being, a new person, a new soulmate. Are you going to talk about blaming and complaining about your past? What are you going to spread in your life? Do you want to spread that negativity? No, right? So now let's go to the second point. The second thing is the sharing without discerning. This is what we do once we have had a breakup. We, without thinking, if we share with anybody and everybody who comes, we talk about a saga of a life, the sadness of a life, and we think by sharing it with others is going to lessen the burden onto me. Well, to tell you the fact, what you repeat in your mind, what you repeat from your mouth all the time, and the acts which you do stays an imprint on your memory. So if you're talking about the sadness in your life, if you're talking about the negativity in your life, if you're talking about the things which that person did in your life or what you've gone through, if you repeat it to 10 people, it is 10 times the pain which you increase. So the first step is acceptance, the power to accept. This is what happens when we go through a stage of breakup. First is denial. We cannot accept what has happened because we are so attached to that person, or we had created strings of attachment to that person. Our whole life was revolving around that person, because of which we are not able to share the reasons for the breakup with ourselves, and we need somebody else to lean on, to share. And if we are doing that sharing without discerning means if I am not sure about the person whom I'm going to speak out these things to, I might do something even much more wrong. I might spread out negativity, and the other person, if that other person doesn't have the power to not judge and listen to me, with the power to accept, power to accommodate and absorb like a sponge the negativity which I'm going to share right now, then I think I need to discern before sharing whether I'm speaking to the right person. Is that soul powerful enough, strong enough to take whatsoever I'm going to share? And many of us, when we do this mistake of sharing without discerning what kind of soul am I going to open up my mouth to about my life, I make another big mistake, because sharing is like mirroring. When I send some information out, every soul on this earth whom I share this with is like a mirror. They're going to reflect it back to me, and what they reflect back to me is exactly what I'm going to send it to them. So the first thing which I would say for you not to do is to not share left, right and center about your present condition. I know it's a hard thing to do, but the best thing to do is to do meditation. Sit in meditation, and if you think of anybody in your own religion, be it Jesus, be it Gautam Buddha, be it Godfather, be it Shiva, be it the point of light, be it nature, anything, just put that being in front of you, put that energy in front of you, and start sharing it with that. Make yourself lighter by sharing it with those beings whom you believe in as per your religion. That's the best thing to do. Make yourself lighter by doing that, instead of sharing it with any being in this world, because nobody over here is pure, and everybody has got troubles in their life, so much so that if you share your own trouble with them, it's like throwing garbage into their house. Who likes garbage into their house? Nobody. So don't throw the garbage of your experiences of your life into somebody else's mind. Every person's mind is like their own home. They want their own house to be peaceful and clean, right? So this is the time not to share those things with anybody else, but to share it with beings whom you have faith and belief in. Call it God, call it Allah, call it Jehovah, call it anybody. And if you think that you really need to share, by the way, this could be your own parents, this could be your own brothers and sisters. They might not have that power to accept or to accommodate or to absorb things which you want to share, and not be judgmental towards you. So some of them might not have the power to say or call out gold as gold and iron as iron, and they might just go along with you and start blaming the other person for putting you into this kind of situation. Well, that might be true, that might not be true, but 100% it can't be true. So then what will you do? You will never come to know the real reasons, and you'll stop looking inside and taking the responsibility for the things which have happened in your life. So share with the person who's got the right judgment, if you want to share, who's not biased. So the third thing which I'm going to talk about here is trying to win back the person. Now imagine, with the things which I've spoken about above, if you're doing all those things and you're in a state of low energy, you're sharing it with other people, you're blaming the other person, you're blaming the people who were involved in bringing that relationship down, what kind of energy are you in? Do you think that kind of energy which you are in right now is going to attract that person back into your life? Are you a low energy person? Have you been a person who was imbalanced, who was making that other person the center of your life? Did you end up having lack of self-respect, that you were clinging upon that person for everything, for even validating you? If you're listening to my Alpha series, you'll understand that if you're seeking for validation from any person in this world, that person doesn't look up to you anymore. It's difficult for them to look up to you at all. So are you that person who validates the self? Do you have high self-esteem or low self-esteem? And is only money the reason, or is only your looks the reason for having high self-esteem? If that is so, then you're not an alpha being. And an alpha being is somebody who goes beyond the physical aspects, who depends upon their values and nature and good qualities and good habits or sanskars to have self-respect, even though they might not have anything much to do with the financial aspects of life, but they have the self-value because they are kind-hearted, they are humble, they're disciplined, they are generous beings, they are royal beings, their behavior is royal, they are accommodating, they are accepting beings. They have the judgment through wisdom of right and wrong. So they respect themselves on those bases. So what is your self-respect, self-esteem based upon? Did you lose that by focusing too much on your physical beauty and physical aspects, so much so that you did all that? You went after the money through greed to become somebody who is focused on only impressing the other person by doing all those things, and you really forgot your own original nature as a soul. And instead of contentment, you went after greed just to impress that being in your life. And that person stopped valuing you even more and more and more and more. So your self-value depends upon what? The things which you have around you. So with those kind of things, you can't win the person back. No amount of gifts is going to bring that person back. No amount of bragging of your physical attributes or physical aspects or physical attainments is going to bring that person back. Nobody likes to be with a person who is outwardly complete but inwardly empty. So it's time to get detached. It's time to be focused on the self, finding the self-value without having that being in your life. Who are you without anybody around you? Can you love yourself? Listen to my self-love series over here, which is there in the podcast series. You'll understand what I'm talking about. What is self-love? I'm not going to go deeper into this over here, but learn to love yourself. Find that person with qualities and virtues who can be loved without things, without material things, without having a companion or a person in your own life. Because whom are you going to become as a person is what is going to decide what kind of person is going to come around in your life. And never ever let your guard down. Never ever make the other person your priority. Rather, I would say make God your priority, who's non-judgmental, who's ever loving, who's ever kind. Because if you expect that love and that kind of unconditional love to come from your partner, you're mistaken. So it's time to focus on the self and stop wanting that person back in your life, because that person doesn't validate you. Having that person or not having that person doesn't validate you at all. Become strong in your own being. Focus on the things which you are supposed to do. Focus on meditation and make your mind mentally strong. Focus on affirmations which make your mind mentally strong. Focus on your physical aspects, your body, your diet and everything else. There's going to be another session about this, which I'm going to talk about. Instead of trying to win back that person, try to win back yourself, your original self. So guys, I'm going to leave you with these 3 points. There's some more points. Since I've spoken about the 10 mistakes, there can be many more actually. You might be finding out some things which I'm talking about over here, which can actually be added up to 10 plus points over here. But that's the definition of going into depth of things. Let's not put them all into points, but the 10 major points through which we're going to branch out into many other points over here. So these are the 3 points which you can ponder over, think about, and I'm going to come in the next episode with the 4th point, and the 5th and the 6th and the 10 points. So see you till then. Keep your mind stable by not making these 3 mistakes. Focus onto yourself. Bring yourself in alignment with nature around you. Love yourself. Listen to my self-love podcast series. Listen to my Alpha Being series, The Awakening the Alpha Within, and you'll get some of the answers over there also. It's all interconnected. All the topics which you see in my podcast are all interconnected. They are about the soul holistically growing together in every aspect of our life. So I leave you over here. Take care. Have a great day ahead. Bye-bye. See you in the next episode.